Jimmie, fantastic to meet you. I've been through your account this morning. Congratulations on your payout. It's a $5,290 payout, of which you get just under $3,500. It's a great first performance with us at FT UK. You've only been with us since the middle of May. There's some very specific things that I'm interested to talk about about your account, but just give me some idea on your background, how long you've been trading, how you see the market, where have you come from, and what is your trading all about?
My background, it's not really relevant to trading. I used to be like buy and sell things. So I've always been self-employed, worked for myself. That's why trading appealed to me. In terms of trading, I've been trading for around 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
But only sort of reached a point where I'm consistent within the last year or so. So I've kept at it. It's finally worked out and it seems to be going well. So happy days. My understanding of the markets, like the courses I first studied were all like smart money concepts and things like that. However, I've sort of come away from that now. I mainly just use exponential moving averages and key levels structure. So that's the basis of my trading.
Okay, that's really interesting. You're the first guy I think I've spoken to in a long time that's really started to sort of move away from the whole ITC concept stuff. What is it about that made you sort of question it, wanted to move away? I mean, I've got my own theories on that, but it's a very, very popular way of viewing price action. Why have you moved away from it? What problems did you find?
Basically, my half of the game is psychology, isn't it? So for me, I like a risk to reward around a 2-to-1, 3-to-1. And with the smart money concepts, you find yourself in a lot of positions where you're shooting for like 6 RRs and higher. And just to remain calm and to remain collected, I found it very difficult. And obviously, your win-loss rate, it goes down the higher your risk to reward is. So I feel like I'm in a steadier place. I can keep emotionally sound when I'm just doing 2-to-1s because you sort of you don't have too much of a drawdown, which is at the end of the day, I like to believe keeping your mind in a good place is what helps you win. So that balance is absolutely key, and that's really interesting way of viewing what ITC, I suppose, is trying to do. Because you're right, that kind of technique, if you're always going for a very, very high profit target, a 3R, 4R, 5R, and you keep stacking it like that, eventually the market texture is going to move away from that within that area of price action. So then things start to sort of get confusing, and traders can second guess themselves. So for me, that kind of technique is all focused on the entry, because you get some fair value gaps and you get into the position and it starts to work straight away. So the emphasis of the trader is all on the entry with that type of technique rather than focusing on the exits. Would you agree with that? I'd agree with that. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will still mark up certain things like liquidity or a double like where liquidity highs and imbalances, but I won't trade using it, if that makes sense. Like I'm aware of it. It'll be part of my analysis, but it doesn't determine whether I place a trade or not.
Yeah. It's a very, very interesting sort of like topic to sort of dissect because it is so popular. But I want to talk about your account, and it's interesting when you're talking about your the targets that you're gunning for, because going through your account, there's something very specific that I have not seen before in any of the traders that we've had at FT UK, and that is your general performance is pretty outstanding. You've obviously mastered the art of the exit, which is obviously where you've managed to come up with such a stellar performance. Your winning percentage is exactly 50-50, which tells me two things. The firstly is that your analysis is absolutely spot on because you're seeing the structure in the right way, but also you've managed to conquer holding to target. And it must be something, from what you just said, it must be something to do with the fact that you've brought those profit targets into a lot more of a realistic time frame and a realistic target and brought that down to 2-to-1, because you're averaging around about 2.5-to-1, I think, roughly.
Yeah. So basically, it depends on. So with my targeting, I will use P levels for targets, so for payout. But obviously, with the way FT UK set up, you can't take partials. So I like to be on the safer side. I won't ever shoot too high. And then on top of that, you've got your consistency rules. So I prefer to just take one trade a day. And if it hits one, I risk 0.5%. If it hits at 1%, that's me done for the day. So low volume of trades, high quality is what I try and go for.
And talk me through the analysis. How are you doing your sort of like your execution? Are you jumping in at market? Are you just seeing the levels, limit orders on there, both on the stops and the take profits, and then you're just walking away, turn the laptop off? How do you actually get that execution?
So basically, I don't enter through a pending order. I only enter through market. So my method basically is with a 20 EMA and a 50 EMA. As long as the 20 is below the 50, then I'll look for shorts. But what I look for specifically is the market to approach the 20 EMA and then show a rejection candle on my time frame. And then if I see a big rejection candle, that's my entry. So the top of the candle is my stop loss for a short, or vice versa for a long. But yeah, so I try and always go with a trending market, and that's why I like to believe that my win-loss rate is so high, because I always try and stick with the trend. Change your friend.
It certainly is, and it's working very, very well for you. Asset classes, no surprises there. It's all intraday work. I think your longest trade was 10.5 hours. Shortest was just a couple of minutes. Gold and the Nasdaq. I mean, most people are gold traders. I'm guessing that's because of the volatility and the thinness of the markets, because you've dovetailed that with the Nasdaq. Is there anything specific about gold that sort of as you've gravitated towards, or is it just because that's what most people trade for volatility?
It's the most volatile market, isn't it? So you'll find it moves the most over the period of a day compared to Forex, compared to most commodities. And I don't like to have too many instruments that I trade. So with two, that's me. Because otherwise, like I say, I try and only take like 1 to 2 trades a day. If I start bringing in more instruments, my tendency to place another trade goes up, and the quality of the trade usually goes down. So I'm always trying to hone in on the best setups. And I feel like the mental ability you need to keep an eye on, say, 5 different instruments and pick your best trade out of all 5. It becomes a bit overwhelming, to be honest.
Yeah. So it's definitely, sometimes people can look at any charting platform, and there's just it's like a series, it's like an arcade. There's just so many fruit machines and one-arm bandits, and you can end up just trading too many things. Yeah. So simple is definitely always better. Now your choice of platform is MetaTrader 5. Man after my own heart. It is one of the most popular platforms out there. Yeah, is that a deliberate choice? Have you only ever worked with that platform?
Yeah, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, they've been the only platforms I've really worked with. I like it. I'll do all my analysis through TradingView, so it crosses over nice. And I don't like to connect my trading to TradingView just in case I overtrade. So I try and keep it right. I found my setup, get at MetaTrader 5, then place my trade, and then leave it at that kind of thing. As for like watching the trades, occasionally I do watch it. But mainly it's just systematic. Like I'll set an alert for 1-to-1. Once it reaches a 1-to-1, move the stop loss to break even, and ride it for the next 1 hour to take profit.
And would you balance that with looking at things just on a computer, or have you got it on your phone? Because obviously you can get the apps, the TradingView app and the MetaTrader app on your phone as well. How do you do that through the day? It's all done through my phone.
Right. Literally. Okay. Yeah. I don't suppose you hear that often. I know many people prefer to use a laptop. It depends where I am, because I'm not always in the same place throughout the day, and bringing the laptop with me everywhere, it's a bit of a pain sometimes. So, yeah.
That's almost like the perfect way to actually execute in this market. I mean, you've traded on these accounts. The particular one was only 7 days. You had one breached account with us before. 7 days on this one with a fantastic 3.5 grand payout, and you're doing the whole thing, analysis through to execution, all on your phone. I mean, that's...
Yeah, of course, that is the best way. I mean, it's just, again, like I come back to psychology. It's just, you got to have the willpower to stop, because everyone can find a winning trade, I believe, or a string of winning trades, but you just can't let that... Obviously, when your phone's in your pocket, it's quite easy to go, no, I'll do it again. I'll have one more go.
Yeah.
But bringing that psychology in and really acing that aspect of trading can be all the difference, in my opinion.
Well, it seems to be working. I really appreciate you jumping on the call with us. Final question, what's the plan? Where are you going with your trading? What is it you're hoping to achieve in the long term?
Just keep scaling capital. In the past, I've tried with my own capital and I just haven't got the funds there. Obviously, it all works off percentages, doesn't it? So a good month might be 10%, but I was only trading with like a 10 grand capital at the time. So it was only giving me the opportunity to make £1,000, whereas I can use a prop firm and just keep scaling. That's the plan anyway. Keep going.
Yeah, and as long as you're sort of working it in the right way, and you can sort of keep yourself in check and keep everything contained, that scalability is there. It's exactly the core reason of why people move into prop, which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's it.
It's really, really good to speak to you, Jimmie, and we're very, very grateful and honoured to have you part of FT UK. Long may it continue. I sincerely hope we get to speak to you again on your second payout with us, but we wish you well and thank you very much.
Happy days. Thank you very much, Nick.